Good evening. It's been near 2 weeks since my last confession. So today I wanted to talk about two things: inheritance and developing a pre-mindset, and how easy that is to do. So inheritance. Why would I want to talk about inheritance? Am I set to make millions? No. I think truly not. How inheritance used to work. Someone's worked hard and built an empire, and or maybe not an empire. Maybe they've just earned something. Got a bit in savings, they've got a property. Let's say they own a house and not much more. And then, at about average, they sort of pass away at 50s, 60s if they're doing well. I'm not talking today, I'm talking however long ago in the past. So they pass away and they leave it all to their children, who are 30, late 20s, mid 20s maybe. And those people in their mid 20s use that money to help themselves get ahead in life and work on their own empire, or get a house, not be in debt for their life. This is how I see inheritances should be working. But today that doesn't really happen. We have grandparents, pass on at 70, 80, 90. Let's be a bit more specific let's talk about the baby boomers. They're all in their sort of 50s now, maybe heading on to 60. Their parents are in their 80s, 90s. So their parents pass away, leave the house, leave some money, leave some savings to their children who are in their mid-50s, 60s. What are these people going to do with the money? They're in their mid-50s, their mid-60s. They've made their livings, they've most likely paid off their house. So they've paid off their house, they're quite comfortable. Well, they should be. So what are they going to do with the money? Hey, it's a windfall, isn't it? We can spend the money, go on a holiday, we can buy a luxury car. Yeah, I've worked all my life, I deserve it. So, the money is squandered, spent on luxuries. Let's just make it a little bit worse. Yeah, that's a bit boring if that's all that happens. They get a taste for travel. Yes, travelling is great. I'll reverse mortgage the house. You can do that these days. Reverse mortgage, So they reverse mortgage their house. These companies buy their house off them and then give them a steady cash flow, additional cash flow. I mean, they're already worked most of their lives, about to retire, have retired. So they get their reverse mortgage money, and it's disposable income. It gets spent. When they get to 80 and all of their smoking and binge drinking has caught up with them, and the health services can't keep up with their medical expenses anymore, and they move on, what do they leave their children? Could be some medical bills, funeral bills. Let's say they're bills. Debt. They leave their children debt. Maybe they're insured and maybe they've organised it well and there is no debt. Maybe they're just nothing. Zero. Next generation, back to square one. Maybe that's a slightly extreme example, but I certainly don't think it's an unrealistic example. Oh, I forgot to add in one thing. You know, they divorce, they split up, suddenly they've got twice the expenses. No more advantage of living in the one household and travelling together. Now they're out to travel, meet new people. Maybe they remarry, more expense. They divorce again, more expense, more expenses, ongoing expenses. So the money is spent ultimately because we're allowed to do that. And sure, you are. Not you, the listener. But folk in general. So what I think should happen is that when our grandparents pass on, they leave in their wills, it's their inheritance, their assets to their grandchildren. Now, why would they leave it to their grandchildren? Well, if you're passing on at 70, 80, 90, your grandchildren are probably 20, 30, 40. And it's at that age that you're trying to buy a house and, you know, you're significantly in debt. Now this is the time of life when it's most difficult. And if grandparents willed their assets to their grandchildren, they could pay off that house, they could get that business up and running. The ability for them to continue on not being in debt, making money, building that empire so that they can pass it on to their children, that's infinitely more possible. Not infinitely, significantly more possible. Then, say my parents do that to my children. If there's any inheritance, then I will do it for my grandchildren. And the money, the assets, the intention is for those assets to be kept as assets to help the family move on, so that there is no easy option to squander that money. I mean, people still will, of course, but it makes it more difficult. Ooh, that's fun. So what do you think? Is my method of preserving inheritance, would it work? Will it reduce the opportunity for people to squander money? Will it prevent people from being wasteful? Now, of course, there's going to be people say no, but those people that are saying no, I question. Are you saying no because you want the inheritance? You're struggling? You think you could do with the money more than your kids could do with it in the future? Maybe you never plan on having kids, so well, I don't want it to go into my nieces and nephews. Yeah, well, I'm not saying that should happen. Divide it up equally between the grandkids, and if you're a single person not planning to have any children, then you get your share. Where does the spiral go? Nobody does know. Oh look, it goes nowhere. However, they've put some nice new 240x45 treated pine capping. And where are we? Well, Michael, if you... Oh, shit, nearly fell over. Michael, if you don't know where I am, tough shit. Well, let's go and see if there's anyone at Nana. Nana. I've actually not ridden there since I have no idea how to ride motocross. I would not only embarrass myself, I would probably kill some poor innocent folk. Out of frustration, not out of poor riding ability. Jeez. What if I can do a lap? Yeah, let's do a lap. On your marks. Get set. Oh, go! There you go. One lap.